Welcome to the Embodiment Podcast. This show is for you if you see the body as more than a brain taxi. It's for people interested in coming home to the body as a holistic aspect of who we are and how we live. Episodes contain practical tips, exercises you can take away, and interviews with specialists from around the world. I'm your host for today, Mark Walsh. Hey, so this was a little note from me about a couple of things we've got going on. The first is to say thank you for all those of you who bought the book. The book, Embodiment, Moving Beyond Mindfulness, has sold really, really well. Super appreciate everyone who shared it, put it out there. Yeah, it's just really gratifying to see that it's well received. I put so much into it. So it's just great to see that people are appreciating it. You know, good reviews on Amazon, appreciated that kind of thing. So the main announcement today is about our Embodied Yoga Principles online training. So we actually launched this a month or so back, and I somehow forgot to put a shout out on the podcast. And I know we have a lot of yogis who listen to this, a lot of coaches who'd probably benefit this. So if you haven't come across Embodied Yoga Principles before, it's a way of deepening asana, of using it as a practice for insight, getting yoga off the mat and into life. So psychological, deep but Western approach to yoga that you can combine with any style of yoga you're already doing. And a lot of coaches also like to use it as a homework to give clients some body coaching and a way to generate insights, a way to a very efficient way to grow your embodiment. And there's all sorts of poses in it. It's pretty original. Well, it's completely original. I'm being very British there again. I'd say at least 2/3 of the poses you won't see elsewhere. So we have like a no pose for working with boundaries. You know, that's pretty powerful stuff. We have a passion pose, enthusiastic, like working with that. Inspiration. We have poses around acceptance, poses about empathy, joking, authority, super useful stuff. And a lot of it, also principles that you can just apply. Anyway, we've been doing this in face-to-face trainings for a while. Next year, there are teacher trainings booked in Berlin, Brighton, UK, and Austin, Texas, USA. They're the only 3 trainings I'm doing in person next year. Details of all of those on embodiedyogaprinciples.com. However, you can now train online. We did some ridiculously fancy recording over 6 days. There's a huge amount of really high quality content where we go through each of the poses, multiple angles, even like cool things written on the screen where you can kind of go, oh, okay, this is the angle or this is the direction. Really well done. You can do it in your own time. You can do it from home. That comes with a bunch of freebies as well. But the main thing is just you can learn the whole system in your own time. And then if you have questions, we have regular webinars where Zoom groups where people can ask questions if they bought this product. When we launched it, 100 people bought it, which is super cool. We now have people training in the online training all over the world. And again, I see them in the Facebook group that we have just for them and also in these webinars. So yeah, I'm very happy with how people are learning. We've heard nothing but good things about the actual platform. It's just really well put together by my colleague Vidyadasa, who's an EYP teacher, but a web designer. So it's a bit of a labor of love for him. And he does all the admin and takes care of everybody. So it's you'll be well looked after. So it's 100 plus videos, 26 of all the different EYP poses. There's a bunch of themed workshops. There's guest teachers on there. So not just me, like restorative yoga and vinyasa yoga, hatha yoga, all different things applied. And the big thing is it's half price until the end of today. Not only that, but because I forgot to announce the initial special offer before to you guys, you can use a code and get another £200 off. So the code is EYP offer, and that will give you £200 off what's already half price. And after today, it's going to be more than that. The code will probably still work for a couple of days if you're hearing this later on. So that will take it right down in price. And the website to look at more details is eyp.training. That's EYP for Percy .training. And you can see that there. And yeah, that will give you all the details. There's little videos, demo clips. You can see the quality of what's there. It's much more organized than my podcast ramblings. So if you're at all interested in yoga, give that a look. I found that sort of like 90% of yogis aren't interested and 10% love it. 10% who are more interested in psychology, more interested in helping students in their lives rather than just helping them stretch. Absolutely love this. So have a look, see if it's your cup of tea, and use that code. So it's EYP.training, and you can use the code EYP offer for another £200 off. And then basically the price doubles in the very near future because it's going to be off from the current early bird rate. So yes, enjoy that. Thanks for support with the book, listening to the podcast, all those who've done iTunes reviews. Things are going pretty well. I'm now wrapping up for the year. It's been a hell of a year. Really good on an Embodied Facilitator course for the coaches. That went well again. We'll be launching some kind of online version of that early next year. It won't be the same as the full thing in person, but it's, a shorter online version, more accessible, much cheaper. So we'll be launching that early next year. And then, of course, next year is conference year. So we're gearing up really. Now the book launch is out the way. It's all about the conference. There's a new website that's going to be up by New Year's Day for the conference, rebranding around that, and then we're really going for it from January for the conference. So you'll hear a lot more from conference speakers. You've probably seen already that we've got Gabor Mate and Pete Levine and Wim Hof and Body Bainbridge Cohen and just a ridiculous number. So if you look up the Embodiment Conference, you'll find the details. But I would wait a couple of weeks to the new website, the new branding, all the new speakers we're confirming is up. And as I said, next year we're going to go full throttle into that. Coaches, do look up the Embodied Facilitator course. I think we're about 2/3 full for the spring launch in the UK, and Russia I think is pretty full too. But that's there. We may bring that to Berlin and New York in 2021, but not next year, maybe 2021. So we're gearing up for potentials in those two places if you happen to be on the east coast of the US or in Germany. No, I'm not coming to Australia for people there. New Zealand, I've been invited to do a TED Talk in New Zealand at some point, so I may go out there. I'll probably be back in Israel next year in November just to get a bit of sun. I normally escape England in November. I'll be in Germany. I'll be in Fuerteventura, some Contact Improv festivals. And in New Year, I'm going to be in Findhorn, if those of you who are up in Findhorn. Okay, so a few things for next year, a few updates, but the main one is that special offer on the Embodied Yoga Principles course. And I hope that's your cup of tea. If not, no stress too. Have a good one. And if I don't hear from you again, Merry Christmas before the 25th. Some ways to get more, to give back, and to get more involved now. So the biggest request I have would be to share the podcast with your friends, people that you think would really enjoy it. Email it to them, put it on your social media, tell them about it, old school. Really appreciate that. Equally, if you want to support us financially, you can go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/embodiment podcast and give us $1 an episode. And I'd say they're well worth $1. So that's less than £1 if you're in UK-ish. So please go there. On the embodiedfacilitator.com website is where this is hosted. If most people I think listen to for iTunes. iTunes, we'd certainly appreciate a review. The way iTunes works means that a review means more people will find it. iTunes regards it as more important for searches. So even a couple of sentences review really does help as a little thank you to us. And if you want to go to embodiedfacilitator.com, you can see the actual, links to the sites. There's comments on there. The Facebook group tends to be where people discuss things. So if you go to put in the Embodiment Podcast into Facebook, there's a page which is relatively quiet and a group which does have some discussion on. So I will reply to things personally there. So also on embodiedfacilitator.com website, there's all sorts of freebies there. There's videos, there's free ebooks, there's ebooks you can buy. And of course, there's our newsletter list. If you want to stay in touch and learn about things like the Embodied Facilitator course and our next Embodied Yoga Principles teacher training, then go to that website and you'll see a little pop up and you can get the newsletter through there. Okay, so I think they're the main ones. Tell your friends, pay us some money on Patreon, give us a review on iTunes. Send us your email if you want to be on the newsletter list, and get involved on the Facebook there. Bit long. Pick whatever you like that works for you. Until next time, welcome home to the body.